Hi, this is a short video on the master section of the Soundcraft Ghost mixing console. Starting at the most used function in the console, we have our control room source. This allows us to choose what is being sent to our monitors and what we're listening to in the actual studio. Mix A is the channel section of the console. Mix B is the monitor section, the tape return path. 2-track A and 2-track B are just stereo inputs for stereo recorders like CD players and such. Above that we have our solo in place. We have a solo light warning us that there's a solo on the console. We also have the ability to switch our solos from PFLs to AFLs. So now with the solo in place button in, we have destructive soloing. So instead of us having the signal routed to a PFL, it just mutes every other channel on the console. Here's our trim for our solo, for our PFL. Above that we basically have our master fader for our Mix B monitor section. We also have the ability to route the Mix B monitor path into the main stereo bus, allowing us to use all 48 inputs for mixdown. Then we have our auxiliaries. Each auxiliary has a master output and an AFL to allow us to hear what's actually being sent out. Next to this we have our Fullback section. So we have the choice of using Studio A or Studio B. Each allows us to source our Fullback from our control room. So CRM will allow us to hear whatever is being heard in the control room. Mix B will send our monitor section out, and Aux 1 and 2 will send auxiliaries 1 and 2 to the Fullback. We have an AFL to allow us to hear what's being sent out. Same is repeated for Studio B phones. We have an oscillator for calibration, so we can route that to our outputs, choose between 1K and 10K. We have a Talkback section. Here's our Talkback mic and our Talkback mic volume. We can route our Talkback mic to auxiliaries 1 and 2, to the studio, which will go out to our phones if we have CRM selected, and to tape. We also have 4 stereo effects returns. Each effects return has a volume, a balance control, because this is a stereo channel, switch it into the main mix, which is like the L and R button on the channel, a PFL solo, and the ability to route the effects to the groups. We also have 8 groups with their own metering. Each group has an AFL solo and the ability to route it to the main mix bus. We have our stereo master fader, our control room level, a mono check button, and an alt button for a second set of monitors. So that's the master section of the Soundcraft Ghost.